Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Sharon Bonney. I'm the CEO for COABE, and I'm delighted to introduce our partners today. First, I just want to say a little bit about our partners, NeighborWorks. They're an organization that creates opportunities for people to live in affordable homes, improve their lives, and strengthen their communities. And I was really excited about partnering with NeighborWorks because as we think about how many of our adult learners deal with housing issues, that this really impacts their life at the most basic level. So I thought, what a wonderful partnership. So I'm really grateful to introduce Doug Sessions and Crystal Scott. They're going to talk more about some really interesting curriculum that's available, and then you'll be able to also meet them at the COABE conference. So I'm going to turn this over to Doug and Crystal.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so very much. And we are delighted to be here as well. And as you said, what an incredible partnership that this has already been for sure. And so I'm going to take a minute and share my screen. I thought that I had done so already, but Bethel, did I?
And Crystal, as that's happening, we can have folks introduce themselves in the chat box while you're there to pull up your slides.
Yes, definitely. And we wanted to allow them the opportunity to just drop in the chat their name, where they are, and then also it would be really helpful if they wanted to drop their role or their title also in the chat so we can see who we're talking to here today. And as Sharon mentioned, I am Crystal Scott. I am the Director of Growth and Partnerships at NeighborWorks America. And with me today is Doug Session, who is the Senior Vice President of our Training Division at NeighborWorks America. So I hope that my slides are working and that we are able to get it going. All right. So I'm going to show a brief video just outlining a little bit about NeighborWorks America, the work that we do across the country, and then also a little bit about our training division. The video is about three minutes long, so take a look at this and then we'll get the rest of the webinar going.
Home.
Home is the foundation for everything.
A home is a place that's yours.
Home is a major social determinant of health.
Home to me is not just a physical residence, it's not just four walls. Home is a feeling, it's belonging, it's a place of safety and respite. Home can be many places, and NeighborWorks can also be a home.
NeighborWorks is a public nonprofit established by Congress in 1978. With a primary focus to build stronger communities. We invest in communities through our nonprofits, making grants, offering capacity building, technical assistance, and training.
NeighborWorks America trains more than 16,000 comprehensive community development and affordable housing professionals every year.
One of my favorite things about facilitating courses with NeighborWorks is the incredible knowledge, experiences, and innovations that participants bring to the classroom from all over the country.
When I think of NeighborWorks in training, I think of a premier program called Achieving Excellence, which is a partnership between NeighborWorks America and Harvard University. My work with Achieving Excellence resulted in down payment assistance programs, homebuyer education, and new approaches to economic self-determination.
Through NeighborWorks, I've learned how to improve my job, how to do it better. As a housing counselor, I prepare families for home ownership. It's such a joy to know we are in this business and we are doing what we actually intend to do.
NeighborWorks America has provided us with not just funding, but the wherewithal to do the work by providing us training, thought leadership, and technical assistance that has made us to zero in understanding how to deal with our residents, how to do our work, and how to make impact in our neighborhood.
NeighborWorks' reach is really the entire country, including native territories as well. That's pretty awesome.
NeighborWorks' native strategy is focused on looking at how we can deepen our impact in tribal communities. And the second way is to build strategies that strengthen Indian housing.
Being able to work in the heart of the African American community, to be part of the Black joy, the culture, the civic engagement is really a privilege.
We focus on increasing Latino homeownership. Some people call it the American dream, and I'll stick with that.
NeighborWorks America is about investing in communities, about breaking down barriers for people who want to pursue their dream of homeownership. NeighborWorks is about making America stronger.
Home.
I got a little click happy there and I ended it before it was ready. So for those of you who have joined during the video, I had asked that you put your name and your location, and then also either your role or your title with your organization. Just drop it in the chat, because we are really excited about not only this exciting and incredible partnership that is recently formed, but also we're just excited about getting to know you all. And so we are here as an introduction to NeighborWorks America, and we wanted to just let everyone know a little bit about the work that we do across the country, and so that you can learn a little bit more and share a little bit more. And so this slide is really highlighting the work that we do, as I mentioned, across the country. I wanted to highlight that last year, we created 16,300 homeowners all across the country, in every state, the district, and Puerto Rico. Additionally, some other impactful numbers are that we trained almost 16,000 professionals in the affordable housing and community development field. And we created and invested in communities, over 45,000 jobs created across America. So wanted to highlight some of those numbers, but the additional numbers are there as well. As you can see, $59 per every dollar that was approved through Congress for our local organizations and the work that we do. So NeighborWorks America, a little bit about us. So we were born out of a resident-led campaign. An incredible woman called Dorothy Richardson kind of rallied her community together and decided that she was going to take no, she was not going to take no for an answer. She wanted all of the things for her community that other communities around her had. And so she and her community eventually found herself in front of Congress, and that was back in 1978. And today we still receive an appropriation from Congress to support resident-led community leadership, just because of her efforts of basically single-handedly rallying her troops and getting together her community and fighting for what she saw as a vision for her community. So NeighborWorks was born out of that. Currently, NeighborWorks America supports 247 local and regional nonprofits across the country. As I mentioned, in every state, the district, and Puerto Rico, we have local organizations on the ground doing the good work of community development and affordable housing. All of our organizations look a little bit different as far as the services and programs that they provide to their community, and it's all based on community needs. They conduct extensive surveys and do all of the things to figure out what it is that their community needs, and they provide programming and assistance for all of those incredible and impactful programs across the country. Safe and affordable housing is the fundamental component of community impact. And it's the central number that we measure as far as financial wellness, health, and economic development. And so all of our organizations have some sort of affordable housing component, and we measure the outcomes and the development opportunities within those organizations each year. Comprehensive and resident-led approaches are needed to advance equity and to address complex and multifaceted issues facing communities. And so this approach is really the fundamental aspect of all of our organizations and of NeighborWorks America as a whole. And again, all of NeighborWorks network organizations participate in some form of comprehensive community development practices that are best suited for the communities that they serve. And so we are going to talk a little bit about what exactly comprehensive community development is. It's not a term that's as well known as affordable housing and the affordable housing crisis. Those words are everywhere, all over the news. And people argue, well, what is affordable housing and how do you define it? And everybody has an opinion about it. But we are going to give you some key components to comprehensive community development as a practice, and hope that you can better speak to it after this webinar. Oh dear. And we're back. All right, so comprehensive community development. So as you can see, there are 6 kind of pillars to comprehensive community development. So it's an incredibly intentional approach. CCD, we will refer to it, CCD is an intentional approach to creating a place of opportunity. It is an extremely layered strategy. There are several core goals and strategies that improve lives, strengthen communities, underlie comprehensive community development efforts. And so it's, peeling off all of the layers of the onion. That is exactly what comprehensive community development does. It's community driven. Every effort is unique and driven locally by residents and stakeholders. So I think that is one of the most unique things about comprehensive community development, is that while all of our communities are working and creating affordable homes and providing similar programs, they're all unique to the places and the people that they serve. We have strategic partners because we recognize that no one can do it alone, and that partnership is essential. Partnerships like our partnership with COABE and other national organizations across the country, because we recognize that the affordable housing crisis cannot be solved in silos. Comprehensive community development also requires coordinated leadership. So we have strong and high capacity organizations and community leadership that we know is needed to coordinate comprehensive community development efforts. And so often our organizations are working with municipalities, their counties, their elected officials, their funders, and all of the different, again, layered strategies and layered investments in order to make the comprehensive community development model work. Capacity and investment are both required to achieve long-term change. And so recognizing that our dollars to support our local organizations are critical in order to execute the missions of the organizations and the communities that we serve. So NeighborWorks increases capacity of local organizations by investing in people. And that is why we are here today, to talk about that investment and in people and communities that we are serving. We are the national leader in providing high quality learning experiences and comprehensive curricula to the affordable housing and community development fields. So NeighborWorks America is known across the country for its incredible training and professional learning that it offers to our field. We recognize that it's not every day that kids wake up and say, I think I want to be a nonprofit leader, or I think that I want to build affordable housing. And so we think that that is, one of our biggest challenges is kind of drumming up interest in all of the career opportunities that exist in the community development world. And we want more people to know about what we're doing. And so we are here talking all about it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Doug because he's going to speak to a personal experience and talk about the connection that he and his community had, the connection between housing and education.
Thanks,
So,
Crystal.
Doug?
Appreciate it. Everybody, I'm going to tell just a quick story that really starts 25 years ago, early in my career. I was a public school educator for the Vancouver Public Schools. As my career evolved, I became a principal at a private school in my community, and then eventually was hired out of that principalship by the Hewlett-Packard Company and served as a liaison back to the schools, colleges, and universities, really all the educational institutions in my hometown because of the company's interest in workforce development. And something happened in our community about that time that really offended the consciousness of our community, I think is one way to talk about it. But the story became very, very well known in the community, and the community decided that it needed to do something about this incident. What happened was at one of our elementary schools, a principal noticed that two boys, brothers, who were attending the school were only attending every other day. One brother would come on Monday, the other brother on Tuesday, and then the first brother on Wednesday, so forward. And the principal got curious about what was going on there. And he asked one of the boys why he only came to school every other day. And what he told his principal was that his family was homeless. They were living out of their car. And between the two brothers, they only had one pair of shoes. And so the brothers were taking turns coming to school, sharing that single pair of shoes. Now, this story really captured the imagination of the community. There was really, it quickly became a story that was told at Rotary, at foundation gatherings, just really all over the community. And the community decided that they just wanted to do something so that Vancouver was a place where situations like this didn't have to exist. And at that time, for me personally, I was working for the Hewlett-Packard Company, serving as a liaison back to the schools, colleges, and universities, and ended up having the opportunity to lead the Chamber of Commerce's Education Committee. And when this story made its way to that organization, the charge that our committee received was to determine what the most strategic thing the community could do in order to make sure that all students and learners in the community could make it to school ready to learn and have all of their basic needs met. And so over a period of time, we investigated best practice related to this all over the country. And the recommendation that we turned back to the community was that the most impactful thing the community could do would be to put a family resource center in the heart of every neighborhood. And the purpose of those family resource centers, as many of you educators, I'm sure know, as I see who's in attendance in the audience here, it really is to ensure a comprehensive community development approach is being taken by the community so that no matter what door you walk through in the community, and that you could find a family resource center in your neighborhood where you could come in and have an intake process take place and be referred to all the social and health service agencies in the community that could put together the package of support that your family needed. And so this was really an incredible recommendation made to the community, and the community really seized on this strategy. And in particular, a whole network of family resource centers were created across the Vancouver school system, and now a whole generation of families were able to find sort of comprehensive support for them as the economy in that community transitioned from really white collar employment to really service level jobs across the community. And it really became a safety net for a whole generation of young people and their parents. And so fast forward to 2018, and the Vancouver School District was recognized by the U.S. Department of Education with a full service community school grant as an exemplary community that had brought a comprehensive community development approach and really put the infrastructure in place to support their citizens in holistic and comprehensive ways. And so this really was my sort of firsthand experience seeing the power of comprehensive community development and the impact that it can have on an entire community of learners. And so now their success story has become part of a burgeoning body of research related to the efficacy of comprehensive community development and affordable housing and its ability to improve educational persistence and attainment in our communities. And so I just wanted to take the opportunity to share that part of my experience as someone who considers themselves an educator by vocation. And it was also the first time that I became aware of NeighborWorks America, because as part of that effort to knit together the whole array of partners across the community that needed to collaborate in order for these neighborhood family resource centers to be successful, we had trainers from NeighborWorks who came out to the community and provided what Crystal will tell you in a few moments we now refer to as group learning, where they brought some of their training to the community, and that created a way for a whole set of partners to have a shared experience of a learning experience together, to build relationships and gain sort of a base of knowledge about how affordable housing and comprehensive community development could really be implemented in accordance with best practice for that work in our community. So now 25 years later, here I am, Senior Vice President for the Training Division at NeighborWorks. And I'll kick it back over to Crystal.
Incredible story. And a couple of things that you said there really, I know I've heard that story before, but not told quite like that. And I was kind of thinking about, all of our organizations, all of our 250 organizations, and how they pretty much serve as the family resource center of their community, right? So they are, they're providing those services and that support network that families need in order to do better and be better. And so, so I appreciate you saying that and telling your story. And I'm sure that if there are a lot of educators here, that you might utilize your Family Resource Center as your place to teach. And so, so yeah, I thought that that was a really great time to share that story. So I appreciate that. So what are the careers in our field, in the community development and affordable housing field that we are talking about? So there's a broad array of careers, early, mid-level, and tons of things that you just really don't think about when you think about affordable housing. And so I did want to mention that there are certified housing counselors and other community serving line staff who work within our organizations and these organizations across the country. Certified housing counselors provide pre-purchase counseling for those who seek homeownership. They do things like counsel through foreclosure situations. They counsel post-purchase and really credit counseling and things of that nature. That's the service that our housing counselors provide to their communities. Construction and rehabilitation staff. So all of our organizations and many organizations across the country, they are a construction company. They do new construction for housing for homeownership and also housing for rentals. They are property managers, and they do rehabs on older homes and older rentals. And so anything that you can think of when you think of construction and rehabilitation. Construction trades, including HVAC, electrician, plumbing, framing, etc. All of the things that you think of when you think about construction. Those are our organizations and who they employ. Program managers, I mentioned mid-level and senior level managers of programs and services offered to the community. And again, those programs and services are very unique based on the needs of the community. Mortgage lenders and mortgage originators. Most of the organizations who are in our field, in the community development field, employ mortgage originators. They have to think outside of the box in order to get families into homeownership situations so that they can be ready for a mortgage. Loan services and other customer service jobs. Marketing and communications professionals. Most of our organizations employ a marketing department so that they can let the community know when they have funding for certain programs, down payment assistance, and other things like that. Grant writers and grants management staff. Most of our organizations heavily depend on community support to keep their mission going. And so it's important to have great grant writers and grant management staff for different local, state, and federal funding that they may receive. I mentioned property managers, so lots of property management services, and also nonprofit executives and other leadership. So all of these are just a few examples of the careers that exist within the affordable housing and community development fields. So at NeighborWorks, we have different tracks of learning that we provide. I'll start at the bottom, single family and small business lending, rural development, nonprofit management, financial capability, housing and education and counseling, construction and rehab, community economic engagement, community and neighborhood revitalization, asset management, and affordable housing. And so all of these learning tracks offered by NeighborWorks America really coincide with the actual jobs that are within our nonprofit and for-profit organizations. So we have created training in order to upskill that next generation of affordable housing and community development professionals so that they can be ready to go out into the workplace and be competitive in order to be best suited to serve communities where they are. What do we have next? So different ways to learn and grow with NeighborWorks professional learning. So as Doug will tell you a little bit later in the webinar, we were kind of caught off guard by the pandemic as we only offered our training in an in-person setting, and recognizing that was not a great way to move forward post-pandemic. We now offer, in addition to our in-person opportunities, which are our NeighborWorks training institutes and our group learning, we also have many opportunities for virtual learning. But I did want to talk a little bit about our NeighborWorks training institutes and also the group learning options. The NeighborWorks training institutes, in my opinion, and in most opinions, are one of the most impactful ways that our learners learn. We offer those events twice a year, one time in February, and then again later in the summer in August. And I will tell you a little bit about our February opportunity later in the webinar. But our training institutes are so impactful and powerful because they bring together so many different people from so many different places who are participating in this work. And you are able to hear best practices, network with all different types of people from different communities, serving different populations. And it is just a very powerful way of learning. And so we anticipate at our next training institute, there will be around 1,500 to 2,000 community development and affordable housing professionals. We've also started offering opportunities for current folks who are enrolled in affordable housing and community development programs, whether it's at community colleges or colleges and universities across the country, because we think it's important for current enrollees to experience what our training institute has to offer, to be able to be with folks who have been in a career path in affordable housing and community development for some time, and to be able to understand and talk with them about challenges and successes throughout their career, and kind of solidifying that they've made a really great choice in their career path and in their college experience. And so the NeighborWorks Training Institute is incredible. Also, we offer a group learning opportunity, which Doug referenced a little bit ago, where we can bring any course that's in our catalog to community. And it is just an incredible way to involve partners, involve funders, involve nonprofits and for-profits to come together in a learning environment. And I think that is a really neat way to learn in your community with, again, different partners or hopeful partners in which you hope to do business with in the future. And so group learning is an incredible opportunity as well. But I mentioned the online, the virtual options. And so we do have a virtual training institute. It's a smaller scale virtual option, much smaller than the NeighborWorks Training Institute. But it's an online version of that with networking opportunities and different faculty-led courses and accelerated courses that are available, again, based on your interests and based on your certificate tracks. And then we also do offer webinars and some self-guided courses. These slides will be shared with you. So I just linked the professional certificates and certifications here, just so if you are browsing the slides, you can get to those fairly quickly. And I wanted to share a couple of quotes from a few of our organizations, our network organizations, who have had the opportunity to experience our professional learning. You can see that this person, I have gained new perspectives or ways of thinking about things professionally and in my personal life. Also, thank you for creating a positive, safe virtual environment where I felt comfortable participating. I look forward to my next class in March 2025. So this person from OESTA, which is a regional organization serving, I believe that they're based out of Colorado. They do business in the Dakotas and other states, but they are one of our incredible network organizations. And this is a quote from one of their employees who attended our virtual training institute. And then we have two quotes from Affordable Homes and Communities. This is an organization out of Virginia. Very well paced, comprehensive, and engaging. This class significantly enhanced my skills, not only improving my grant writing, but also benefiting all aspects of community and program development. And so the second employee obviously participated in our grant writing class, which is incredible. If you or anybody that you know are interested in polishing up your grant writing skills, it's a good one to take. But Affordable Homes and Communities, again, out of Virginia, is an incredible organization. And I wanted to highlight some quotes from them. And then I wanted to share every quarter, we have several opportunities for our partners and for others to attend different free Learning Express series. And so this one is titled Data Storytelling, Where to Find Data. And it will be presented by our Director of Business Intelligence. It will be offered on February the 27th next month, and I put the link to register. So if you or anyone at your organization or your adult learners are interested in chiming in and seeing the high quality offerings from NeighborWorks America free of charge, this is a really great way to do that. Additionally, our business intelligence unit is an incredible, it's a really, really cool division that offers different communities ways in which they can tell their story through the data lens, which is something that is very valued lately. And so if you have the opportunity and you are available on February 27th, I would strongly encourage you to log in and get a feel for the NeighborWorks professional learning and its value. And then I mentioned the Virtual Training Institute before, but this year we will be offering the VTI, the Virtual Training Institute, in May this year. And so I provided the links there for that. And again, the Virtual Training Institute incorporates many networking opportunities for folks who are attending. And this year, if you are registered for the Virtual Training Institute, there is an additional free opportunity that is called personal branding. It's called something like that, but it could be very, very powerful for your learners, for yourself, but it's talking a lot about your how people view you in the professional world and different things that you can do in order to be prepared and all of the things. And so it'll be a really great one. I'm looking forward to it. maybe we can come back and talk a little bit more about the VTI and other offerings at a later date. But I did want to share those dates there. And then lastly, I did link the group learning opportunities. And as I mentioned before, these are any of the courses that we offer. And I'll remind you in a few minutes about those different tracks. But you select the course, you select the location, and you select the date, and we provide the instructor and all of the materials and the coursework, and all you have to do is bring yourself. It's a great way to minimize costs of traveling, and a great way, again, to kind of level the playing field and bring all of the players together from your community to ground yourself in affordable housing and community development work. And so wanted to link those here again for ease, so that you can find what you're looking for when you go back to visit these slides. As a reminder, these are the tracks that we offer: affordable housing, asset management, community and neighborhood revitalization, community economic engagement, construction and rehab, financial capability, housing education and counseling, nonprofit management, rural development, and single family and small business lending. And I did want to point out FinCap, financial capability, is one of our most popular tracks because it incorporates all of the things about budgeting, about home ownership, about the things that you need to do to be prepared to become a homeowner. And so FinCap, financial capability, is one of our more popular tracks because it teaches you how to be the teacher of these financial aspects. And so I did want to point out that particular track for this audience because I think it will be one of great interest, and we hope to have a lot of information about our financial capability track when we are at the conference coming up in Dallas. We're really excited to be there and to be involved in that. So as I mentioned, our next NeighborWorks Training Institute is going to be February the 10th through the 14th. And I linked all of the courses that are going to be on offer. I linked Visit Pensacola. That's where I live. Visit Philadelphia, because we will be in Philly. And so there will be lots of fun things to do. Again, lots of networking opportunities. And I linked the full event brochure because it's going to be a really great time. So if you or anyone that you know is interested in attending, please take a look at these links. It's going to be a really fun time. Very cold, but very fun. And I did want to mention that the online registration date for that Philly event is coming up. It is actually on Friday, but we will have opportunities to register on site. And I wanted to make the announcement that since COABE is one of our newest partners, that we are going to be offering members a 10% discount, not just to Philly, but to all of our professional learning offerings in all of the modes of delivery. And so I will be dropping in the chat that discount code to be shared with anyone who is considered a COABE member, because we are just thrilled to be a part of this incredible partnership, and we think that it will be very mutually beneficial, not just for our training, but just in general. The education component around our network organizations and the locations of where you are, I think, can be shared. And it just has a lot of potential. And so we're really excited about it. And again, I will be dropping the discount code in the chat. But for now, I'm going to turn it back over to Doug so he can talk really high level about our strategy And he's going to highlight a couple of things from the strategy that would be of great importance to you. So Doug.
Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, I think the thing we really want to, one of the things we really want to communicate here is that as the premier provider of professional learning for the community development and affordable housing field, our grandest ambition is to recruit and upskill and help nonprofit organizations retain the next generation of leadership for this work in our country. And so in pursuit of that vision, we have created a 5-year strategy for the training division here at NeighborWorks that is built on really 4 pillars that we've alluded to in this presentation, but I wanted to highlight here as we close out our presentation. The first pillar is our ambition to expand our catalog. So over the course of the 5 years of our strategy, which we're 2.5 years through, we're halfway through, we are reviewing and revising, updating all the content in all 300+ courses on offer in our catalog. The second pillar of our strategy is to, as Crystal alluded to earlier, is to make sure that everything in our catalog is available both in person and online going forward. Because NeighborWorks was caught so flat-footed by the pandemic, we never want to find ourselves in that circumstance again. And so we're really excited about the improvements that we're making to our online courses, both in terms of instructional model and the ease of use of the technologies that we are adopting to bring that learning to you all. The third pillar of our strategy is to really transition the credentialing of all of our work. So all the certificates that we offer of completion for our courses and the professional credentials that we offer, we're moving from paper certificates to micro-credentials. So all of our courses in our catalog will eventually have digital badges and be transferable and verifiable micro-credentials that can be added to your LinkedIn profile or any other social media that you use. And finally, with the adoption of a new learning management system and a new event management system as part of our strategy, we are committed to leveraging those technologies to significantly enhance peer learning across our network of affiliated organizations and the broader field of community development and affordable housing and our strategic partners like you all who are members at COABE. So you can look forward to opportunities to have even more opportunities to exchange best practice peer-to-peer across our 2 great organizations. I just wanted to give you that sense of where we're headed with the future of professional learning from NeighborWorks.
Perfect. And with that, and because I've had 3 coffees, we are finished. This is the end of our presentation, but we certainly have time for questions. If you want to continue to drop questions in the chat, I saw several questions that I think that Doug was answering as we went, but if there's any other questions, if you have follow-up questions that you want to shoot us an email about, if you have a particular group that you would like to know suggestions or recommendations about bringing training to you, or bringing a group to one of our NeighborWorks training institutes. We love talking about the work that we do, sometimes a little bit too much, but we are here and definitely willing to answer any questions in the chat or at a later date. We are available and
if you, I see a few folks dropping questions in the Q&A section. We'll respond to these, but would you also be so kind as to put your questions in the chat, because we'll be able to get a script from that, and we'll be able to keep track of these questions. First question, Crystal, you may have the best answer of the two of us to this is, do we have a branch in Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri area? Looks like maybe Crystal's frozen. So what I can tell you is that we actually have an office in Kansas City, Missouri. And so we have a number of our, what we refer to as NWOs, our affiliated organizations in and around that area. And on our website, you can actually go in and search by geography for all of the affiliated organizations in any particular geography. So if you'd like to find the NeighborWorks organizations near that location, you can do that on our website. Yeah, the second question is, what is your organization doing to address housing inequality at the structural level and policy level, and then also addressing issues of financial literacy at the individual and institutional level? So Crystal spoke about the whole track of courses related to financial literacy and capability. So we have a broad offering of courses related to those topics for individuals and for institutional partners. And we also have a division within NeighborWorks that we refer to as our Public Policy and Legal Affairs division, that is working in concert with our 250 affiliated organizations in every state, the district, and Puerto Rico on policy level changes to policy related to affordable housing and community development, both federally and in every state in the union. Great. Well, I think those are the couple of questions I picked up in the Q&A section. Let me see what else we have in the chat. Thanks for the high marks on the presentation. As part of our peer learning, do we offer, or would we consider offering, learning circles, such as offered by p2pu.org? I'm not familiar with that organization, but as we are working on this strategy, a pillar of our strategy, we welcome suggestions like this, where we can learn about best practice and work to incorporate best practice in our utilization of our technology to enhance peer learning. So thanks for the tips there. Where does NeighborWorks America reside in Baltimore? We have several organizations, formerly affiliated organizations, in and around Baltimore. So again, if you go to the website, you can search for the organizations in Maryland, and you'll see the list of organizations that are formerly affiliated with us in Baltimore itself. And as part of your peer learning, oh, we got that one. If participants would look at neighborworks.org, can they find all the locations? Yes, they can. And has there been any work in your organization with K-12 public systems? Yes, many of our NeighborWorks organizations are partnered with their K-12 systems around our comprehensive community development initiatives. And so happy to follow up, Robin, if you'd like to connect with the NeighborWorks organizations in the DC area. And we are very conscious of eco-friendly practices. In fact, we have courses related to that. And our local NeighborWorks office is aware of the partnership, and can we contact a local organization? We are getting the word out to you all and through our field division to our local organizations simultaneously. So yes, our local offices will be aware of the strategic partnership that we have forged with COABE. In fact, that communication is going out this week. And could you put up the slide again with your email addresses? I am afraid that dropped off with Crystal, but we'll follow up communication and make sure you get our email addresses so you can contact us directly. Well, again, thanks for the opportunity to get to know you all today. It was really exciting to have this opportunity to share a little bit about NeighborWorks. Let you know that we are now strategically partnered with you all, and that as members, you have access to our professional learning at a discounted rate, and we can't wait to see you at some of our upcoming in-person and online and on-site professional learning events. If you do come to see us in Philly in February, you'll see me roaming the homes, and be sure to grab me by the elbow and let me know that you're at the event from COABE. I'd love to meet you in person. Sharon?
Yes, thank you so much, Doug. We so appreciate the partnership. And as you mentioned, we'll be putting out a press release very shortly. But as you also mentioned, folks can see you at the COABE conference. So we look forward to seeing you all there. And thank you again, Doug, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. Take care, everyone. Happy New Year.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Bye now.